ran across Charlie here from Horizon. They're out of the UK. He actually approached me and he's like, hey, I watch you on YouTube. So, hey, I've heard that before too.
You're a celebrity in the UK.
Well, great. That's great. Maybe I should visit the UK and visit you guys.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Charlie showed me some really neat things that they've got going. Horizon is an air seeder and planting company in the UK, and they're showing a row unit here at the National No-Till Conference. I've seen a lot of cool features. There's a lot of neat things on this, and I know you're going to want to see it too because you're interested in these things. Charlie, first of all, we got to talk about the toolbar because you've got a unique profile here.
Yep. So this is new to us. We've had this for about a year on our seeders. We've had it on our planters for about 3 years. We always had it on our planters so you could adjust your row spacings for different planter crops. And we were looking at how we could improve things on our row unit. We used to have square box section with big U-bolts on it. We had a couple of problems with those. Firstly, pinging in hard conditions, they can snap. And also when they started getting older, they would start wearing and we would get side flex in the row unit, which would mean our closing wheel would go out of line. So with this clamping toolbar, firstly, it means we can give any row spacing anybody wants, so you can literally put it anywhere. So we offer custom row spacing. It means we can put the row cleaner on the front and the row unit all completely clamped round, and it's much stiffer, so we don't get any side flex. It's a lot stiffer. We can clamp it up much easier in the factory. If a farmer ever wants to change his row spacing, then he can just slide it along.
And I understand you have like mid-row banders that also clamp to this.
Yep. And
you can adjust those as well.
Yeah, so that's coming from our planter, so we can put that on there as well if you're on the front, if you wanted to as well. So there's lots of options we can put on there and you can adjust them around.
And some people were using it as a way to do interseeding or cover crops or something while you're planting the other, or you could do mid-row banding. But it just seems like there's so many options there. Another thing that I thought was really unique that you said is being offered on your 30-foot machines, and you're looking at doing bigger machines all the time, was called controlled traffic, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about that because it sounds like you can shift the rows to put them where you want.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So currently our machines go up to 30 foot, but we're launching a 40 and 50 foot next autumn, which will be next spring, which will be a single toolbar with hydraulic side shift. So the toolbar will hydraulically be able to shift, so you can go in between your corn rows and you can companion crop, or you could use it to come back in the spring and side dress your current rows, just shift it across, but always keeping your tractor wheelings in your controlled traffic rows. So you can just do whatever you want, put it wherever you want.
And that's both the seeding rows or the mid-row bander rows?
Yeah.
Or planter rows or mid-row bander rows?
Yeah, so that one's a single toolbar with just the seeder row unit on it, but eventually we'll have that in our planter as well, and you can move everything around.
And understand that's unique to the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, I never even heard of that before.
We got a patent pending on it as we speak.
Excellent. Neat row cleaner here.
Yeah.
This is a very robust row cleaner.
Yeah, so that's our new design row cleaner. We launched this about a year ago. It's our Gen 3 row cleaner. So we're a precision planting OEM in Europe, so we make a precision planting planter, and we learned a lot from Reveal, right? So we've learned a lot from Reveal. So firstly, we've separated our row cleaner to the row unit, so we're not getting any vibrations transferring into the row unit. It's a parallelogram on the row cleaner. We're dragging the row cleaner, which makes it better for contour following. We put the gap in between the row cleaner and the disc as narrow as we can get it. Because what we used to have a larger gap, and you'd get residue falling back in front of the seeding zone. So we've narrowed that right up. We've also made it less aggressive. So we've really tried to work on getting it less aggressive, so you can run this with a 6-inch row spacing and not be throwing residue into the other rows.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the bigger challenges with row cleaners is it can work in lighter trash conditions or some conditions, but then you struggle if you get a lot of trash or you're throwing it in the next row or you're going too fast.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's a lot of challenges. That's a really neat design. Parallel link. Looks like you've got it linked to an air cylinder, so that's controlled from the cab up, down.
Yeah,
you want to use
it? Isobus controlled, double-acting air cylinder.
Nice.
We've not got it on this one. We do a depth limiter as well.
Okay.
So if you're in really light sanded soils, you can run a depth limiter on there as well. So that's really neat. It's an option. The row unit, so clamping frame. We've obviously got hydraulic downforce. That's a manual adjustment on isobus again, so we can adjust them all as we're going along on the isobus. This is designed to accommodate cedar force, so we're working with precision planting. We're prototyping a load cell in the gauge wheel this spring so that we can come to North America with a precision planting powered cedar with cedar force ready to go. So we're working on that. Parallelogram, so every one of those is independently going up and down. That's 14.5 inches of travel in it. So they're all working independently, making sure everything is perfectly in line, working nicely. You've probably not seen D-cup diffusers before. We get these from Australia. They cost us a lot of money, but they're really, really good. So they're an air release system. It's 100% air release. So what that means is from here, we are dropping the seed, we're placing the seed with gravity. So we're not getting the seed bats. So we can run shallow seeding, have our turbine, our fan right up 4,500 RPM and not worry about seed bounce. So these are brilliant. What they also do is they're a very cheap blockage sensor, because if you get any dirt or anything down in there, it will build up, and then it just spreads everywhere, and you can see it from the tractor cab.
There's a nice fountain going on.
Yeah.
I love the terms you use. You said the turbine.
Yeah.
Or earlier he referred to the bushes as a hedge. I just love it. It's so fun. It's so fun to hear the different terms. We all speak English, and we can still understand what each other are saying or trying to say.
The biggest challenge for me here is, so you guys are Imperial, right? I spend most of my life selling into Europe, so into Germany and European countries that are proper metric. Everything is metric. In the UK, we're a mess. We're both. So if I'm driving my car, I'm driving in miles per hour. If I drive a tractor, I'm driving in kilometers an hour. If I'm using a seeder, so if you ask me how deep I'm going, I'll say I will drill it 2 inches or 1.5 inches. You'll say, what's the seed rate? I'll say 250 kilos a hectare. You say, how big's the field? I'll say 50 acres. We're like, it's the same with a hopper. We're in tons, but then we're in kilo bag. We're a mess.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to learn bushels. I'm trying to get my head around bushels.
I think we should all just switch to metric and be done with it.
We're struggling.
All right, so moving back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the core of this row unit, and that's the angle of the disc.
Yep.
How big's your disc and what's your angle?
So disc is a 19-inch single disc. Angle, so we've got 2 angles going on. So we're an undercut disc. So 7 degrees off the horizontal, which is like all of them, protecting the seed boot, and then 10 degrees off the vertical. So it's an undercut disc over at 10 degrees. 2 major reasons why we have that. Firstly, penetration. So if we're in a field alongside a vertical disc drill, we need about 60 to 70% of the downforce of a vertical disc drill. We need a lot less downforce, which means, firstly, we can be heroes. We can go in rock solid conditions and this will go in the ground. Great. But actually, more importantly, it means in normal seeding conditions, we're running less downforce through there, which is less pressure through the disc, less through the bearing, less through the gauge wheel, and less into the seeding zone. We can put 300 kilos through that, which I can't translate into pounds. It's a lot. Is that like 600 pounds?
2.2, I think.
Yeah, so 600, 700 pounds we can put through that. It's a hell of a lot of weight going into a seeding zone. You know, we don't want that compaction in our seeding zone. So we always want this with the lightest footprint we can possibly get.
Very good. So compound angle, undercut, opener. Then you've got your traditional gauge wheel for your depth control, which looks like you're running the shaft through the hub of the disc.
Yep.
So it's real close to the drop zone.
Yep. So we've got 2 different gauge wheels. So this is our standard 3-inch. We also do a 4.5-inch. We prefer the 3-inch because it's less depth regulation, a lot easier, and residue, less bouncing in stones. For wet conditions, so in the UK we've got a lot of wet clays, we'll normally put the 4.5-inch for that, just to take the weight a bit more. Really sandy or cultivated soil, we'll put the bigger one on. So that's a gauge wheel specifically designed for us. Can you see it's on a 10-degree angle? So it's profiled for, because we used to run on a normal gauge wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Carlisle gauge wheel.
It's got more of a complete profile to the lip.
330 is but we got it at the 10 degrees. It was built specifically.
Okay, your angle here.
So we're touching the ground. Because you imagine if we had a normal gauge wheel over at 10 degrees, all of it that would be touching the ground, and this wouldn't. So we'd be compacting there.
Yeah.
And what we found is we used to get rubber bulge, like it would bulge off, whereas with this, it's touching the ground. We do a stone guard for in here, so we can get issues especially if you're running row cleaners, stones will go in and jam. So we do a stone guard go in there. What I should have said is, so the undercut disc, benefit 1, penetration, benefit 2, closing. And that's the best thing about this row unit, is it will always close in the hardest clayest conditions. Why I say that, so if you imagine we're coming in and we're lifting a flap of soil with that 10-degree angle. So we're lifting that soil up, we're fracturing that soil as we lift it, and we're just poking the seed underneath. So then the job of the closing wheel, when we go to close it, it's really simple. We're just pushing that soil back over. And if you compare that to a vertical disc drill, which is basically doing that, plonking the seed in the bottom, now you've got to force all that back over, which is why there's so many closing wheel options on the market to try and do it. It's really hard in heavy clay to do it. And what happens? It dries up, it cracks open, you lose all your humidity, the crop fails. In England, what happens? We don't close the slot. We have a lot of slugs. We're a wet maritime climate, heavy clay.
I know that about England.
We can do slugs. We can go slugs better than we can grow crops. But it's a real problem. They get in and they just follow the whole seed out. They just go along the row. And they call them slug highways because they do. They just munch along the row.
Oh, man.
So we've got to get that slot closure. And that's why this has been so popular in England. I was saying earlier, historically, 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to put no-till disc drill, you bought a John Deere because that's all there was. If you look at the slot closure behind this, it's much improved.
And now I see that you're doing a firming wheel in here as well.
Yep. So we've got the firming wheel option. We find in Europe, anything going east of Germany pretty much always has the firming wheel option in there. In the UK, with our wet clays, they can cause a few problems with hanging and sticking. Mm-hmm. So they're a bit mixed in the UK, but I think for this market, well, it depends where you are in North America, but these would be really popular. There's no question the importance of a firming wheel if you can get that seed right down in the soil. We want to run these as much as we possibly can.
Now I see this is something unique. You've got, instead of maybe a spring, coil spring or something, you've got an airbag,
Yeah, so we've got a pneumatic control closing system, so it's completely independent of the row unit. So we can lift and lower that. There's no air in there at the moment, but we can lift and lower that as much as we want from the isobus. So if you're coming up to a heavier end of the field or the headland or something like that where there's been a lot of traffic, you just crank it up on the isobus. Takes probably 5-10 seconds to charge it, to make to change it by, 1 bar. Probably takes 10 seconds. And then the closing wheel's on the back. So this is our no-till closing wheel. We really like this because it fractures the soil and consolidates as it goes. So this is really popular. We also offer a wider rubber closing wheel. So if you're on cultivated soil or really sandy soil, these can be a little bit aggressive. So on a sandy soil, I'd just put a rubber wheel on personally. But these are really good because these will fracture a little bit as well. And with that movement of that soil from the undercut disc and this wheel, we're getting like a little micro tilth, and we're getting that mineralization, and that, we're getting a tiny bit of tilth on top of the seed. Yeah,
some blackening effect for the sun to warm it up, and
exactly, yeah,
good. And I see it's hard to see maybe on this view, but it's got like a shoulder on it or a rib, and that's like a depth band, so it's not too aggressive.
Yep.
And like you said, these numps will help fracture the soil.
Work is the teeth are just going to the side of the seeding zone, so they're just fracturing to the side, and then that lip there is what's doing the consolidation.
We've got what looks like a cast boot or scraper. Would you guys call them boots in UK? Or
call it a boot.
All right.
What do you call it here?
Either one. Usually it's a boot if it's got maybe a double shoot option, or it's cast and a little longer. But if it's like a plate, it's oftentimes a scraper.
Yep. This is our new seed boot design, as we'd call it. So it's cast for us. We used to fabricate them ourselves. We're a small company that's growing. We're now at the stage where we can get cast. We've got enough volume. Mm-hmm. Why we like cast is everyone is perfectly uniform. So that relationship with every boot against the disc is exactly the same every boot we have. Whereas when you're fabricating, there's tolerances, right?
Yeah, and you can't have gaps.
Yeah, so that's the first thing why we like the cast. Tungsten carbide on the front, so it lasts longer.
That makes a difference for wear.
Yeah, we're spring loading it against the disc. So we've got this torque setting here. So you basically just torque it up. When you change your boot, you just torque it up with an Allen key. and away you go. So there's no shims, no spacers. Our old ones were spacers and bolts, and they were really fiddly to get right. Whereas we just torque these up on that spring. This is really nifty. So this is where we can lift and lower the boot. So if you, let's say you, I don't know, wear your disc by 1/2 inch, you can just lift your boot up by 1/2 inch, and away you go. What this also lets us do is if you're doing shallow seeding, like a real shallow cover crop mix at whatever 1/2 inch, we would lower this down so you're delivering it right in. If we were drilling wheat at 2.5 inches and it was muddy and it was wet, we'd lift it up or get it out of the way. Or doing beans, our beans are field beans. We've put our field beans in at 4 inches. We just lift this up.
Oh, wow. What's the process to lift it up?
Loosen that, lift it.
Okay, so you don't have to take something out per se. It's just loosen.
2 bolts and lift them up.
Lift them up. Now I'm seeing wouldn't it hit here? Or this whole thing moves together?
Yeah, it will move. So this is moving with it, if you see in there.
Yep. Okay, so you'd probably have to loosen that too then.
Yeah. I'm talking.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, this boot's really good. This one isn't showing it, but probably 40% of the drills we sell have liquid systems. So we do in-house liquid.
That's what these 2 holes are for.
Yeah, so our liquid delivery tube goes in there. You wouldn't believe the pain I've had getting this to St. Louis over Christmas.
Oh, man. And I'm sure it was like, is it there yet? Yeah. Is it there? Is it going to make it?
Leicester Media very kindly said they would receive it. We got it here on the 31st of December. And they went to unload it. They're like, oh, my God, how does this thing weigh? Oh, yeah. Because we just put it on a pallet, right, with our forklifts. And I think it took 4 blokes to get it out of it. Yeah.
I love it. Blocks. That's right.
4 guys.
4 people.
4 men.
Well, thanks, Charlie. This is really interesting. And if you guys want more information, certainly check out their website. They got some cool literature. I'm going to grab and look at the paper copies. You guys going to make a run here for North America?
We're having a look. We're quietly.
Are you going to look?
Quietly. We've put a couple of machines into Ontario last year, which is quite exciting. We went to the Canadian Outdoor Farm shows, so we got a lot of interest in Canada. We've sent 1 DSX to Colorado, so that's been there 2 years now.
Okay.
And we're keen to see where we fit in America, where the markets, we don't have huge 80-foot, 100-foot platforms just yet. What farmers would be interested in us, but certainly this row unit, we know this row unit will be really popular over here because all of the competition, we know the John Deere row unit, we know all of the other row units, and this has got a lot of good features that we can beat. So
free. And I understand you're in a lot of countries already.
Yeah, so we're only 5 years old. We're now 6. We're in our 6th year, growing at a rapid rate. So we're now in 40 countries. We have DSX seeders in 40 countries.
Wow.
We have a few, I think 28 or 29 languages we have to manage. So coming here,
how many do you speak?
English.
All right, we can talk.
So coming here is it genuinely easier for us if we can support machines in all these different countries on the different languages. Of course, we use dealers to do that. We need people to help us, but yeah, US market's certainly attractive for us. Also, you guys, and no question, and I knew that before I came, but coming to this conference, the level of interest and knowledge and attention to detail on planters and seeders over here.
With our customers, with the farmers?
Yeah, the farmers want to talk about marginal gains, wants to look at, this whole row unit is about marginal gains all over it. There's a genuine interest in that, which is great to see.
You're definitely going to get a high level of that at these conferences, the no-till conference. The people that come to these are serious about it.
Yeah.
And that's good to see.
Yeah, our kind of people.
Yep. Well, very good. Thanks so much, Charlie, for showing us around this row unit. And we're going to be watching, seeing how this progresses. And obviously checking it out on the website too.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to meet you.
Make sure you like and subscribe to keep up on all the fresh content posted weekly, which includes helpful tips and tricks, new products, and various adventures. Also, make sure you check out RedE.Ag's website to shop our performance air seeder solutions.